Hey Marcus, what's up buddy? I got your message this morning. You left me last night. It was late. I was in bed at that time. So you wanted to know something about the pawn shop. So you said you were planning to go to the pawn shop and you wanted me to tell you something about pawn shop before you can go in there? Okay. Hey, listen. These pawn shops are nothing but stolen goods, okay? A lot of people bring stolen goods in there.
Yeah, somebody told you that?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Also, all these dope heads come to the pawn shops. You know? You don't even know. So, I mean, just enter the pawn shop with the caution, Marcus. You're my friend, you know. I'm giving you my best of the best advice, you know. Okay? Be careful. Going into the pawn shop, be careful. Just kidding, people. Just kidding, okay? Why? Because today in this video, we're going to talk about something very, very good and serious about pawn shop business. And we're going to be addressing common misconceptions about the pawn shops. We're going to be busting those myths today's video. It's really important. Please listen, like it, be there, watch this video till the end. You're going to get some good information today, okay? Be part of it. See, you probably got serious, you know, what I was talking to Marcus on the phone and stuff like that. Okay, listen. Today's video is real important about pawn business, and we're going to address some common misconceptions about pawn business, because there are so many misconceptions that people believe, and that kind of like, you know, draws that gap between people and pawn shops. So today we're going to be busting some of these common misconceptions about pawn business. We're going to be busting all these myths so we can get the clarity about pawn business. So stay with me till the end of the video, and you will leave with some valuable, good information that you can use, and you will have a different understanding about the pawn business. See, one of the greatest things about pawn business is, I'm going to give you that again. We've talked about that again and again, and today I'm going to tell you again. Pawn shop business is $5 to $7 billion business. So we are the part of a huge industry, okay? And that's the most regulated, most legal industry that you can ever find, okay? So that's the best thing I can tell you about pawn business, because it's a $5 to $7 billion industry. And this huge industry is not running based on what I was telling you in my intro, just to get your attention, okay? So today, I'm going to address 5 misconceptions about the pawn business, and I'm going to take one by one, and I will just kind of lay it out for you so you can understand, and we can have you understand about the pawn business more closely, where you have more friendly attitude or aspect and point of view about pawn business. Number 1 common myth that bothers me to hear people talk about it, and mostly in person I don't address that, because it's nothing but a can of worm that people believe in. And misconceptions, you know, those are dangerous for any business or any customer relationship in business. So the number 1 thing that I'm going to talk about is, and that's a very, very, very sad misconception, but I will try to clear that today so you don't have any problems in that area, and you just freely believe in that, and you can come to the pawn shops more. Okay, number 1 thing is, majority of the people, a lot of people think pawn shops are nothing but stolen goods. People bring stolen stuff to the pawn shops, and people buy them cheap, and they sell them cheap for big profits and all that. That's a myth, okay? That's a misconception. Why I say that? Because pawn shop business is the most regulated business. You have regulations from your county, your city, your state, and federal government. I will say this business is the most regulated business. Now, one thing I can really tell you, some of the pawn shops, some of the owners, maybe those are fly-by-night people, and they believe in shortcuts, and they're not doing the business right, and those become the black sheeps of this industry, and they give the bad name to this industry. Other than that, this is the greatest business, and it's the greatest help for people. It is. So we're the most regulated, okay? Once we take the merchandise that comes in, we document it. Serial numbers, items, names, who brought it in, license numbers, and state what the license was from. You know, all those numbers. We take pictures of items. We report to the local police. And now we put on Leads Online. That's an online reporting system. And by the way, Leads Online can be watched in Canada, all 50 states in the United States, and any law enforcement of any scale, including judges and everybody else. They can log in for free and they can view that information. So, the myth number one was pawn shops are all about stolen stuff and druggies come into. For God's sakes, no. We have the greatest customers, okay? We have the judges, they done business with us. We have the truckers, they do business with us. We have the bankers, they do business with us. We have the doctors, they do business with us, okay? Because money needs are the same. Bigger somebody's designation is, bigger need it can be. I've seen attorneys, they've used our services. So I'm not throwing these names in and out, but just to give you the softer image of the pawn shop business. And hopefully you understand that. If you're one of them that thinks pawn shops are nothing but thieves' heaven, please change your mind, because they're not. There might be some pawn shops that are not living up to the promise and their licensing and reporting system and their code of conduct and ethics. Okay? So hopefully that clears the number one myth. Now the time for number two misconception, and that is, and I've seen so many people, you know, they talked about it, I picked up on that, so I made it number two. And that was that pawn shops only deal with low value items. A lot of people think that. It's an unfortunate truth, but they do. Okay, here's the reality. Pawn shops deal from the littlest things to the biggest things. For example, in our pawn shop, we have pawned planes twice. You know the personal planes? Twice. That's big enough, right? Then we've pawned 18-wheelers. We've pawned expensive cars. We've pawned very expensive antiques. We've pawned many big high-dollar motorcycles and cars, boats, and whatever you can imagine. We've done that. Jewelry, you know, expensive game systems. We've done all that. So I mean, it just kind of bothers me to really know that some people think, you know, that's just low value items and, you know, this just kind of like low income people and all that. My dears, that's not true. That's not true. Pawn shop is just like any other great business out there. And like I said, today's video, I'm making it to clear some misconceptions, you know, so people can have more user-friendly attitudes toward the pawn shops. And dealing with those items, we are just fair. We are well educated about items. We evaluate nicely, honestly, and fairly, and give people the fair value of their items. So this should open up another door for you as a client, as a customer, as a visitor. You're most welcome. Our arms are open, okay? So just come right in and let's do some business. Even if not, just come and feel the feel of our pawn shop, okay? And that goes for many other great pawn shops too in the area or wherever. I mean, I go to many states and I definitely go in pawn shops and kind of check it out and see what it is. So it's not just that, okay? Not just the low value items, just any value items. Just like you go to Walmart and you can buy a pair of socks, or you can come out with a 0-turn lawnmower or riding lawnmower, which is several $100s. Or you can buy tires for $2,000 at Walmart's, or you can buy an apple for 99 cents. You see what I'm talking about? So same concept goes to the pawn shop business. And I want you to know that, and let's open up more horizons for pawn business. And we would like for you to support pawn business so we can keep offering these friendly, fast services that enables people to get the cash. Let's talk about number three. The misunderstanding number three, myth number three is pawn shops offer low interest rates. Okay? I don't want you to understand this wrong way. but understand the right way, completely right way. I will explain it to you. A lot of people believe the pawn shops offer lower interest rates. Okay, in some states, the pawn shop loan interests, they are lower than traditional banks, some of them. And since we have 50 states, all these states, they go one by one, and each state has slightly different interest rates, slightly different terms of loans, and grace periods and all that. So each state has a different one. So one thing for sure, we cannot charge people anything more than what state allows, okay? When we get in the business, we never decide what we're going to charge people. The state has already decided what should we charge people, okay? And that's just important to know, because many times, when people have that misconception in their head, that's misleading for them, because they might have came from one state and that state has 25%, and they came to a different state, that state might has 20%. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe they leave the state with 20% interest rate and they came to the new state that charges 25%. You see what I'm saying? So that generalization, I see that a lot of time in the people, and that can be bad, because sometimes, when people pawn something of value, like their car or big diamond ring, a lot of gold and necklace and all that. So it's important to know the right interest rate and the time frames, because Las Vegas has different rules, California has different rules, Florida might be different, New York definitely different, and these things state to state, they vary, So just having this as a customer, as a client, having this general idea about the interest rate, that's not enough. That's why I'm addressing that wherever you go, you're welcome to ask the pawn shop. And that's our obligation and responsibility to give you the right information as far as the interest rate, time frame, grace period, extensions, how you can reclaim, how soon you can reclaim, how many times you can pawn the items, how many loans you can have. All this we can discuss that, okay? There's a world of possibilities, endless possibilities. So, your knowledge about the pawn business is as important as my knowledge about the pawn business, because my knowledge is operational knowledge, how to operate, what to do, and how to really follow the laws, rules, and regulations so we can keep things at most legal. And yours as a customer, right, is to know everything about the pawn business. You can have a complete clarity, no misunderstanding, no misconception, where you can benefit from the business and benefit from your item, benefit from your loan without any hesitation and without any doubts. So you can just enjoy your duration of your loan with the pleasure, instead of might be this and might be that, might be this and might be that. That's a bad state. And I've seen so many people, that they came from a different state and they presume that state of Georgia is this way or that way. And many times, that just becomes a problem for them. Okay, so that was number 3. Recently, a lady came in and she said, why these pawn shops are so dirty? And by the way, that's number 4 myth, misunderstanding, or misconception, number 4. A lot of people think, pawn shops are dirty places. Okay, let me give you a little background, okay? You can go to Kroger, you can go to Walmart, you can go to any food chain, food store, and at times you will see them spotless, but there'll be some times they might be dirty. They might need cleaning. The trash cans might be overflowing, okay? So really, that goes for every business there is, At times, we're not in a perfect shape. She was right. We are not in perfect, and we don't claim that. It's just the operational period where you at and how busy you are. But I'm not using an excuse to deviate from cleanliness and all that. Yes, in general pawn shops, like if you're dealing with all the items, they might be a little dirty because people bring different stuff. And that stuff can be leaky, smelly, or it can have some dust on it that can just kind of like remain on the floor, or it can give you the dirty look and all that. But we try our best to keep the places clean. After all, We're just a business. We're just like any other business. And we thrive on the idea, that we will operate with the best promise, with the best service, and take care of people. So, all in all, we're not perfect. We're human beings. Just like any one of us. We're just not perfect, We can all look at our homes. At times they look great. Then there's sometimes they look less than perfect. So basically we're talking about life. We're talking about operations, day in and day out, and how the moments are going, how the hours are going, months and years and stuff like that. And if you really look at it, the whole environment, you get your car cleaned up, and in 2 weeks you will see a film of dirty dirt, black smoke stuff that comes with that. You just cleaned that 2 weeks, So I just want to break that myth that pawn shops are a dirty place, So I will always say, if as a customer you come to our stores, then you're welcome to give your suggestion. Hey, look, I don't like this, or I don't like that. So can you please fix that, or do that, or clean that? We can do that. We love people's feedback so we can make it better. After our common goal is to have a nice, clean, friendly place where we can do an honest business and keep our communities benefited from our pawn shops. Now the number 5, okay? And this is very interesting. And this one kind of like hails from a lady one time came in and she said,
"Is it safe to come inside the pawn shop?"
I said, "Yes, ma'am. It's very safe. Come in, come in." Okay? And she was not the only one. There are many other people that think pawn shops are not a safe place to be. So why would people think that? It's just because of those misunderstandings and misconceptions that we talked about from top to the bottom. And these are just a few, it can be many more. I don't want to make video too lengthy where you get bored up and you don't watch it. So in actuality, in a nutshell, the pawn shops are the safest place. Most of the pawn shops, they have armed security, and that armed security ensures safety and a free and clear environment where people can just enjoy their shopping experience or pawning experience. So a lot of us, we do have security, or a lot of pawn shop owners, they act like their own security. They have so many people, and almost every pawn shop that I know, they have the great security measures in place, along with local police, alarm systems, and friendly service. So all this together, it kind of like ensures that people are safe to come into the pawn shops. The pawn shops are not dangerous places, okay? I want to clear that completely out of your head because it's important. Because our industry is the oldest industry and it should be approached properly. And that's our job, the pawn shop owner's job, to really lay out the whole definition of pawn shops. And it's surprising, till this day, I will get people, they don't even know pawn. All they know is, I'm here to sell things. And when I let them know that you don't have to sell it, you can pawn it. And they don't even know what the pawn is. After this much time, thousands of years of this business being on this planet, people still don't know much about that business. So that's where those misconceptions come from. And of course, there are some groups out there, they're anti-pawn shops. So they will stir up that kind of negative misconceptions. So it can just kind of like drive people out of the pawn shops, and people have this nasty outlook about the pawn shops. In reality, pawn shops are great business, and they're serving our communities, and they're great accessory to our communities where people can enjoy their loans faster than banks, faster than any other loan companies, and better than all these payday loans and stuff like that where people are getting robbed, because those companies, they really destroy people. So, unfortunate thing is, when people go into payday loans with the banks and all that, they never question that. They just go over there and take some days, credit checks and this and that, and finally they get the loans. So, decide for yourself. That was number 5, that pawn shops are not safe to be in. But I assure you, the pawn shops are a very safe place, and we care about our people's safety and security well-being, happiness, and peace of mind. That's our common goal, all the pawn shops. Thank you so much for watching Petty Pawn Vlogs. I really appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing, being the part of it, comments, likes, everything. My humble thank you to all of our subscribers and subscribers yet to come to us. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and be the active part of Pawnshop journey, okay? I invite you through these videos. Till next time, you take care of yourself, your family, you're happy. Just make sure you're happy. Just make sure you're doing good. I'll see you in my next video. Till that time, you take care of yourself. Good luck. Goodbye.